Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. You see the fractions and you're thinking, oh no, fractions, I hate fractions. Well, we can get rid of fractions. You don't have to work with fractions. Um, One of the quick ways of getting rid of fractions in an algebraic expression is by multiplying everything by the common denominator. Here the common denominator would be 15, right? Because 5 and 3 are factors of 15, so we're going to multiply everything by 15. Every term in the equation gets multiplied by 15. Alright? And then I start cross canceling. 5 goes into itself once and goes into 15 three times. 4 and 15, since there's no denominator in the 4, I can't cancel, so I'm going to multiply 4 and 15. 4 times 15 is 60. So this becomes 60. And then here I can cancel again. 3 goes into itself once and goes into 15 5 times. And then again here, 2 does not have a denominator, so I'm going to multiply these two, and I get 30. I get 30. So now what I have is 3 times 1x. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times x is 3x. And then here I've got just 60, so I'm just going to bring down the positive and write 60 equals 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times x is 5x. And then here I'm just going to bring down the positive and my 30, because there's nothing to multiply it by. From this point now, this should look familiar, right? This equation. You've done this before. We're going to move the knowns to one side and the unknowns to the other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the 30 over to this side and the 3x over, or transpose the 3x over here. The way I'm going to move the 30 again is by doing the opposite operation. Since this is positive, I'm going to do the inverse of a positive 30, which is a negative 30. That's going to equal 0. It's going to cancel out. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 30 here. Then with this 3x, since there's no sign in front of it, I know it's positive. And the opposite, or the inverse operation of a positive number, is a negative number. Negative 3x. That equals 0. So I'm going to do negative 3x. And so now what I have is 60 minus 30, which is 30. And then I've got 5x minus 3x, which equals 2x, right? 5x minus 3x equals 2x. And now what do? I still got a number next to x. And remember, there's no sign in between the variable and the number. So that means that this is multiplication. 2 times x. Well, I'm going to use the opposite operation of multiplication to get rid of this 2, which is division. So I'm going to divide by 2. That equals 1, and 1 times x equals x. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other, so I'm going to divide this side by 2. That gives me 15. 15 equals x. Okay, next problem. Okay, here, again, I'm just going to divide by the common denominator, and the common denominator is 3. It's obvious because this is over 1, and 1 is a factor of everything. So 3 and 1 are both factors of 3, so I'll put a 3 here and a 3 here. The 3's cancel out, and what I have left is 4x, so I'm going to put 4x here. And this is times, right? 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm going to divide by 4. That equals 1. 1 times x is x, and what I do to one side I have to do to the other, so I'm going to divide this side by 4, so I get x equals 12 divided by 4, which is 3. See how easy that is? Again, here the common denominator is going to be 8, so I just multiply by 8 both sides. The 8's cancel out here, and what I have left is 5x. And on this side, I have to multiply because there's no denominator to cancel with. So we get 8 times 5, which equals 40. Now I'm going to use the opposite operation because I should know already that 5x means 5 times x. So the opposite operation, or the inverse operation of 5 times x is division. I'm going to divide this by 5. That's going to give me 1, and 1 times x equals x. I'm going to just divide this side by 5 because what I do to one side I have to do to the other, so it's going to give me 8. And my answer is 8 because 40 divided by 5 equals 8. Again, same thing here. Let me erase some stuff here so I got more room. Again here, the common denominator is 2 because this one's over 1, right? And 1 and 2 are factors of 2. So the common denominator is 2. The 2's cancel out, and what I get left with is x equals 42. Easy, huh? Because I don't have to do any other operations. X equals 42 because 1 times x is x. That's my answer. Here, the common denominator again is 3 because this is over 1 and 1 and 3 are factors of 3. So 3 is the common denominator. The 3 cancels out here, and again I have 1x, and 1x is the same as x. And here I got 3 times 5, which is 15, so x equals 15. Again here we've got something, we don't have a denominator, well, or the denominator is 1, so I know my common denominator is going to be 4, so I'll multiply both sides by 4. Here the 4 cancels out, and I'm left with 1x, and 1 times x is x. And on this side, I've got 4 times 8, which is negative 32. When you're multiplying a positive and a negative number, your answer is always negative. In multiplication, when the signs are different, your answer is negative. When the signs are the same, in multiplication, your answer is positive. That's the same with division. When your answer is, when your signs are different, your answer is negative in division. And when your signs are the same, the answer is positive. So if I have negative times a negative, I get a positive. If I have a negative times a positive, because the signs are different, I get a negative. Okay, that's only in division and multiplication. It works a little different with subtraction and addition. Again, here, my common denominator is going to be 3 because this is over 1, and 3 and 1 are factors of 3. So I'll put a 3 here, a 3 here. The 3's cancel out. I'm left with 1x. 1 times x is x. And here, 1 goes into 3 times, and so 3 times negative 9. Since the signs are different, since this one's positive and this one's negative, the signs are different, I know that my answer is going to be a negative 27. Okay? And I hope this helps you guys get the hang of algebra.